India, along with countries like the United Kingdom, United States, Australia and China, agreed to work to manage the risk that artificial intelligence poses at the summit in London, aimed at creating a safe way forward for the rapidly evolving technology. Well, this is the need of the hour because AI now has the ability of making decisions on behalf of humans. In fact, for humans as well. Well, some may say this would make day-to-day life easier. However, the threats that can come with the dystopian technology are very serious and can in fact cause serious damage. We've all come across morphed and manipulated videos on social media which seem very real. A lot of us have also laughed, had a good laugh at these tweaked videos. This technology is being used to spread humor today, but who knows, tomorrow it may be used to mislead an audience, convince people to begin communal clashes, direct dangerous commands contradictory to national security. The possibilities of damage that come with this technology are far-reaching, endless and unimaginable. So today, let's just look at some eye-opening examples, some examples that will leave you baffled, examples that will make you wonder whether this technology is a blessing or is this a starting point of an abominable harm. We'll talk about this with some people who understand this space. Pavas Piyush, tech expert, joins us on the show. Divya Gandotra Tandon, founder of Kiran Prakash Social Welfare Foundation, also joins us on the show. Anshul Agarwal, founder of XR Central, joins us on the program as well. Mayurakshi Das, founder and director of AI Tech, Elixir AI, and a tech expert. And last but not the least, Professor Madhav Nalapad, editorial director of the Sunday Guardian, also joins us on the show. All right, we begin with something which is going to definitely, as I said in my opening monologue, baffle you. Now, here is a video of former President of the United States of America, Barack Obama. Look at this stationary frame. Nobody can tell that this is not Barack Obama. Even if I ask my crew to play this video, you won't find it suspicious until you hear the contents of this video and actually rack your brains around it. Watch Jordan Peele, an American actor and director, use AI to make Barack Obama deliver this message.
In which our enemies can make it look like anyone is saying anything at any point in time, even if they would never say those things. So, for instance, they could have me say things like, I don't know, Killmonger was right, or Ben Carson is in the sunken place, or how about this, simply, President Trump is a total and complete. Now, you see, I would never say these things, at least not in a public address, but someone else would. Someone like Jordan Peele. This is a dangerous time. Moving forward, we need to be more vigilant with what we trust from the internet. That's a time when we need to rely on trusted news sources. It may sound basic, but how we move forward in the age of information is going to be the difference between whether we survive or whether we become some kind of dystopia. Thank you.
All right, some of you who actually fell for this video would have understood when Jordan Peele came in that split screen that it was his voice, and of course there was an AI-generated version of the former President Barack Obama that was doing the talking. Imagine, this was something which was absolutely nonchalant and could not harm. It was, in fact, a very plain video, but it can be a harmful video in the future as well. Okay, on your screens now are two videos, both of Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO of Facebook, except one is manipulated and one isn't. I'm going to give you a whole of 20 seconds to pick your choice, which one is the fake video and which one is the real. Let's hear the contents of this video to give you an understanding of what we are talking about.
Imagine this for a second. One man with total control of billions of people's stolen data, all their secrets, their lives, their futures. I owe it all to Spectre. Spectre showed me that whoever controls the data controls the future.
I wish I could tell you that we're going to be able to stop all interference, but that just wouldn't be realistic. There will always be bad actors in the world, and we can't prevent all governments from all interference. But even without our employees directly involved in the sale.
All right, well, that's not at all artificial intelligence can do. Look at this video wherein the original video has been used to send a very different audio message.
For a second.
Now, I'm
One
not going to
man
sit here and
with
tell
total
you
control
we're
of
gonna catch
billions
all
of
bad
people's
content
stolen
in our system.
data, all
We
their
don't check what
secrets,
people
their
say before they
lives,
say it.
their future.
All right, so as you heard it, you weren't able to tell the difference. Now, here's a video of Vladimir Zelensky, who's of course the president of Ukraine. Before I tell you the contents of this video, take a look at it and address whether you're able to instantly tell whether this is a fake video or not.
Глянути правді у вічі не вийшло. Стало тільки гірше. Значно гірше. Більше нема ніякого завтра.
All right, let me also tell you the contents of the video. In this video, you can see and hear the Ukrainian President Zelensky calling on his soldiers to lay down their weapons. Now, this video was reportedly uploaded by a hacked Ukrainian news website. Just imagine the kind of catastrophe that could potentially unravel with such a video being circulated. All right, on to the next one. Still not convinced? Well, take a look at the American actor and film producer Morgan Freeman. We all remember him from great movies like Shawshank Redemption. This video is so dystopian, ridiculously real. This video will make you feel uneasy. Have a look.
I am not Morgan Freeman, and what you see is not real. Well, at least in contemporary terms, it is not. What if I were to tell you that I am not even a human being? Would you believe me? What is your perception of reality? Is it the ability to capture, process, and make sense of the information our senses receive? If you can see, hear, taste, or smell something, does that make it real? Or is it simply the ability to feel? I would like to welcome you to the era of synthetic reality. Now, what do you see?
All right, Professor Nalapat, sir, I'm going to begin with you. So, this is perhaps something that, people in the metropolis can wrap their head around, perhaps do some digging in to figure out whether this video is real or not. But there is this huge section of society in India as well as the world which could actually fall and take action if something like this is put out and is detrimental for, leading rise to a situation which shouldn't have been there in the first place. How do you respond to this, emerging threat of AI, and why do we need to have this consortium of countries coming together and actually taking action against something, which was in fact invented to facilitate humans, not harm them?
Vineet, frankly, the fact is that the London meeting convened by Prime Minister Sunak, essentially it's a period when people can come, meet, have stay in luxury and have a few days of discussion and then go, for a simple reason that both have been included. Countries that are basically hostile actors who are very active in using the internet to create dystopian images, and the victims of those countries. Both sides have been invited, so it's a slightly unusual conference. Having said that, I'd like to point out, you are quite real. I mean, what you showed appears very real, and that is the problem. Let's say, for example, you have individuals who do not know this kind of power of alternative intelligence to create this kind of image. And let's say that you have some images, videos, so-called speeches that generate feelings of hatred towards a particular group. Then that particular group, many will feel insecure, and many will then feel hatred towards a group which is frankly innocent, because these rants are AI created. A hostile actor can do a tremendous amount of damage to the social fabric as a consequence of this kind of activity. Tomorrow, day after, you may be able to reproduce voice transcripts that are completely fake, proving a guilty man innocent, or quote-unquote proving an innocent man guilty. So this is definitely a danger. So the point is, the risk posed by artificial intelligence, and the need to be on the alert, especially when certain posts, certain statements are designed to create hatred and designed to create, for example, panic or terror or feelings like that. I think it's very important to spread knowledge of that. But ultimately, I'd like to say that eventually, I do believe there's a human who runs the machine and not the other way around. I mean, it's the humans who write the programs that go into artificial intelligence systems. And you take, for example, GPS. Now, there are so many instances of people who have blindly followed GPS in the night and landed into all kinds of horrible situations, including being drowned. So the fact is that any artificial intelligence has its limitations. Only the human mind can quickly process data in such a way as to take account of changed circumstances. So you may believe through AI, you've got a complete fix on the mind of each of us on this program. But the fact is, some random incident may take place that completely changes our perspective on everything. And from then on, that AI machine is useless in predicting your or my behavior.
Let me also rope in Anshul Agarwal, founder of XR Central, into this conversation. Anshul, appreciate you taking out the time and speaking with us. What do you make of this threat of AI? You work in this domain, you're experts in this domain, you understand what goes on in the background. Is this something which can be misused and used to divert attention away from what AI is actually meant for?
Hi Vineet, thank you so much for having me on the discussion. I think it's a very important topic that you're bringing up. Look, technology as a nature in itself is like that. I always like to put it in a way that let's take a look at the medical science. You have a disease, then you have an antidote. That's how the technology ecosystem has always worked around. Yes, Professor Nalapat has mentioned, it's the humans who are creating these codes and algorithms to better the life of humans, but eventually it's amongst us to really utilize to our own potential. What do we really want to make as an outcome of it? Are we trying to make sure that our lives become easy, it becomes automated with certain technologies? Yes, to a fact. That is where I would say the sanity mindset, the people who are not really insane with technology, that's where they're moving towards. But I think there is, like you mentioned, there is a huge amount of the audience who's actually trying to misuse with some of the videos. Even in India, so many incidences which are right now happening. You open a WhatsApp, you get a video call. All of a sudden now, what is those video call? Lucky enough for me, I've not been scammed, till now with that. But I would say, that's the lack of awareness. I would say it's a duty for even the technologist who is innovating, who's creating these technologies. They need to really, come out, create this set of campaigns, create this set of how to use or tutorials when a new technology is being tested out. So I think I as a technologist really take it upon us that maybe we are not able to educate people enough how to really use it. Technology can be misused as well as it's made for bettering the future. That's the fact. Let's take another example of how the financial industry has gained the benefit out of the technology ecosystem. When we started with online banking, there was no system of, let's say, an OTP. But eventually, because something happened over there was an OTP came in. Then there is now two-step OTPs, where you're actually authenticating with an email as well as the mobile phone. And eventually, that's how the evolution of technology has been there. So Vineet, as you're mentioning, see, AI can do a lot of great stuff. But I think right now there is a set of people who have a different agenda in their mind. These are potentially, I term them as they're the greatest coders ever. If they're able to create something like a deep fake and they're able to misguide, I mean, these are the people that I really need to hire, because I know they can really make me a millionaire or billionaire with the type of coding and programming that they do. But I think that there needs to be that stop. I would say even the government, to an extent, really should come into creation of policy. Like there is a model, I keep going to Finland, there's a model around, it's called a triple helix model, where how the academia is actually working, with the industry and the institutions. I think that's something, that needs to be closely knit together of, what is the better for the society? Is this technology really fit to be launched in an ecosystem like India? Is this technology, or to what extent? I think that sort of scrutinization, that sort of a policy needs to be rolled out. And yes, at last I would like to just say this, it's upon us. We create technology for our benefits. I think there needs to be a plug that we can pull. Not everyone should get that whole access to the technologies that we're working with. But AI is brilliant. It's going to really change and bring about a revolution. But yes, there is that antidote which is still missing in the market right now.
All right. Pavas Piyush, are you there with us?
Yeah, am I audible?
Pavas, what do you make of, I remember when we were in school, we had an essay in Hindi, Vigyan Vardanya Abhishap. How do you look at artificial intelligence?
Yeah, so as Anshul also mentioned and Professor Nalapat also mentioned, so all of it comes down to rights and responsibilities, right? Because all of us think in the way that it is our right to be aware, it is our right that we are protected against it, and coders should take the entire responsibility of it. The company should take entire responsibility of it. And people usually give this analogy that having AI is like having uranium at your disposal, right? You can use constructively or destructively depending upon your intentions. But I beg to differ in that context, because unlike uranium, AI is at everybody's disposal. It's decentralized. Anybody and everybody can use it at any given point of time. And just as Anshul mentioned that a lot of disease and antidotes are there in place, but the speed at which the disease is being caused, since that is decentralized, it's our responsibility to be fundamentally aware. It's our responsibility to be questioning everything, whatever is happening around us, whether this is true or not. Because let alone our parents' generations, even in my generations, I see that people, whatever they receive as a WhatsApp forward or whatever they see on Facebook, they see it as a gospel of truth, and that's certainly not the case. So we as society need to be very responsible now, because a lot of tech giants like Google, IBM, OpenAI, they are taking steps. In fact, they have developed what-if tools. They have used fairness indicators that force their coders to build responsibly in terms of AI. But at the end of it, we need to be extremely responsible about it. So I would say this is AI again is a blessing and blessing, but at the same time, it can be misconstrued, and in other contexts, it could be used very negatively. So it's our responsibility to be aware of it.
Divya, are you there with us?
Yes.
Divya, in fact, there have been multiple Hollywood movies as well, such as the Terminator series, which go on to talk about the guy who produced and directed it, James Cameron. He says that he feels vindicated because what he predicted in the 80s is perhaps going to come true. With the rising population throughout the world and AI replacing humans, not only in terms of intelligence, but scale and scope as well, what do countries need to prepare for in order for things not to go out of hand at all?
Before starting, I just wanted to let you guys know that the AI, the deepfake, is not just limited to celebrities or the public figures, but it has also come to the people who are general public. And I run an NGO, and I have come across some victims who have been victim of this deepfake AI models, where their pictures and videos are being morphed, and it looks very real, very very real, and it's really hard for them to make other understand that it's fake, just because there is less knowledge about all these systems, how it works and all. So what I believe is that people need to understand, and the most important thing, enforcement agencies need to be more strong to tackle all these issues, because this is going to be larger and larger. This is not going to stop. So we need to be prepared, if I would say. And also we need to understand that there are a bunch of people, there are a set of people who don't know about tech, and we have to make them understand, and we have to make this AI, or I would say technology society, a better place and ethical place to survive, or to, I would say, surface. So yeah, I would say that this is a very tough situation where people need to understand that everything can happen and nothing is impossible in today's world.
Mayurakshi, anything is possible in today's world, and if Zelensky can come out and change the tide of the war through artificial intelligence, it's a scary proposition that any responsible country will look to counter and take action and measures to prevent. What do you think these actions and measures ought to be?
Thank you, Vineet. I would like to state here that, whether it's technology, AI, I mean, which evolving field doesn't have its pros and cons, right? We have a huge number of deaths in the world everywhere due to medical overdose or medical overdose, right, of over-the-counter drugs, etc. So there is abuse of every facility in general. I think, why this is happening in the first place is because it's an evolving field and the rules and regulations are still also evolving. We need to, like the former panelist said, we need to make those not so familiar with technology aware of this. However, in the meantime, to answer your question, Vineet, I think the Global AI Safety Summit, or group, that initiative that's been taken by the UK Prime Minister, is going to be a highly effective panel, because you cannot target such threats on a nationalized or domestic or group level. Data is data, and I don't think you can geographically really segregate that unless you try very hard. So a global attack on such spyware is definitely the need of the hour. However, I'm very confident that, this is a problem that we are dealing with only in the near short future. I'm sure there are going to be very, very tight and tighter regulations around data privacy coming up extremely soon. So I'm extremely positive about this. However, in the meantime, let's continue to focus on the positive that technology as an enabler has given us. The most commonly used ChatGPT, the best form of and most popular form of AI in today's day and age. But you cannot be a complete you cannot use ChatGPT without knowing what you are really searching for, right? You have to know some of the material that the engine throws out. You have to validate. So the human mind is never going to be taken over by technology or AI. And I am saying this as somebody who sells AI for a living. So I think the fine line between what is going to be automated and what remains manual, like one of Mr. Agarwal said, the banking sector fully automated on the front end, but the back end still remains. The middle end is also fully automated. The back end continues to have a lot of manual intervention. So AI will never take over the human mind completely, and it's just a matter of time before the rules and regulations become as stringent as for the other fields like healthcare and whatever touches the public at large.
Anshul, what do you feel? Do you concur with what Mayurakshi said, that AI will never be able to take over what the human mind and intelligence can accomplish and give to the world?
See, now this is a very tricky question, because what we are seeing, there are a few trends which we have. There is a lot of case studies also, and Mayurakshi, you'll agree with me that there are two machines, especially in the industrial AI, that they were testing out. They started talking to each other. They were just talking to each other basis what we as humans have coded, but I think they connected with a third machine because of the integration of another technology, which is IoT and IIoT, industrial IoT, and they started talking. Now that not two channels, now there were three channels. They added one more machine into it. I think that is where even the humans were trying to figure out what have we done, how do we now stop them. So Vineet, to your question, I still believe, see, it's a belief. I still believe that, it's us who's giving the power to the machines right now. So they may not be able to be as good as we are, right? But we need to draw a line between in which aspects of it. Let's suppose we used to talk about, can an AI machine be emotional? Now, unfortunately, this was like 5 years back in the past. Now, yes, AI machines have emotions to them. That is where we are seeing all of these deep fake and, all the lip movement and everything coming in. Can an AI machine have a regenerative power like a human, like what we have? Maybe not. So we need to your question, I would say my belief is that the AI machine may not be fully functional as a human being. They cannot replace it, but there will be some aspects of it if we don't control it now, if we don't think about it, if we don't spend much time deliberating on it. I think there will be some elements where we ourselves will be frustrated. What is going on? Like you go to Europe, what is their biggest problem? Their biggest problem is loneliness. Now that is what I feel. Even in country like India, if AI is not controlled and it's just left for everyone to just use, I think that might be, those days might not be very far away even in India. Anyways, we have now
all right, that's very well articulated, Anshul, and that's obviously pointing towards why you are a leader in AI in this country. Well, we've run out of time, but I'm sure this is a topic, this is in fact an area which has a lot to talk about and a lot to contemplate as well, because it does create a future and even alter the future that we envisage and we live in. Would like to thank all our guests for being a part of this conversation.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.